Hey there guys, my name is Rick YouTube here with Gateway to Airguns and another GRiP review. So what is a GRiP review? GRiP reviews are videos we pull together that are just about the raw data. We're not here to tell you buy it or don't buy it. We're here to tell you this is what it did for us throughout our tests. Now, if those numbers and those facts and figures line up with what you're looking for, then you found what you're looking for. If they don't, well, you know that too. I mean, we're not here to sell you something. We're just here to let you know what we found about the products we're taking a look at. Now, today's product is the Umarex Origin in .22 caliber. This happens to be a gun we're giving away here at the GTA. So hopefully I'm getting this video done with a couple days left for you guys to enter the contest. I'll be sure to put the link down at the bottom. Also, there's a behind the scenes video that I shot during all of this, so you guys can learn a little bit more about our methodology and how we do things and how we're getting the numbers that we show you here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Origin. This gun is a gun that, this is my personal opinion now, if you are looking to get into PCP air guns and you have nothing, you don't have a pump, you don't have a compressor, you don't have a tank, you don't have a gun, I really like the Origin. Umarex has this in two different flavors. One is with a hand pump, which is awesome because for 350 bucks, all you got to do is add an optic and now you've got a PCP air gun that you can go hunting with, target shooting with, and have a lot of fun. If you already have some gear and you just like the Origin and you don't want the pump, well, they offer it without a pump as well, and that's the gun we're looking at today. So .22 caliber, it has kind of a little trick up its sleeve. So a typical PCP, regulated or unregulated, you need to build up enough pressure for the valve to work to give you that first shot, and that may be 2,000 PSI, it may be 3,000 PSI. Regardless, if you're pumping with a hand pump, it's going to be a lot of hand pumps. I mean, it's going to be maybe 100 or more strokes of the hand pump to be able to take that first shot. Now, what Umarex did is they wanted to make this super easy for everybody new to PCPs to be able to use it. And rather than have you work a lot to just take that first shot, they've built in a gas ram, and it's called their Ever Pressure System. And essentially what it does is it acts like a booster. So even though you may not have put in 3,000 PSI worth of pressure in your gun, the booster takes what you have put in and boosts it to a usable pressure. So here's the difference. Your typical PCP may need 60, 100, 120 strokes of the pump, depends on the bottle, to take your first shot. This gun, you can take your first shot with about 13 or 14 strokes of the hand pump. To me, that is pretty awesome. So the advantages don't just stop there, okay? Let's say you want to fill it and then go shoot a lot. Well, that booster continues doing its job. Instead of 200 strokes of the hand pump, you can fill this from dead empty to full in about 140 strokes. And then you can top it off with, again, less strokes than you would need in a typical air gun because that piston is providing the pressure. The other advantage is that it sort of acts like a regulator in the sense of that it's providing pressure to less volume to maintain a higher pressure. And I don't know how the math works. I do know how the numbers work. And so let me share the numbers with you. If you're looking at just raw shots from full to where you need to absolutely put air in it, it's probably 60 to 80 shots. It's a lot. But at the end of that, the numbers just fall like very, very quickly. So accuracy and power begins to drop very quickly at the end of that. Now, if you want to shoot like accuracy, say 50-yard accuracy or hunt with this, 40 shots is really going to be your sweet spot. So the numbers I got, I'm using the FX Crony, and I shot these numbers with the 15.89s, which for a pellet in our testing gave us the best results. You're looking at a shot count again, 40, a high of 949, a low of 919. It started to drop off at shot 40, so that's why I stopped. Average was 934, extreme spread was 30 feet per second, and the standard deviation was 7.8 feet per second. Now, that is pretty good. Again, we're talking about a very affordable air gun. We're talking about something that's perfect for new air gunners getting into PCPs. I'm very, very pleased with that. Power output's right at 30 to 31 foot-pounds. Now, if you're new to this, let me explain this just for a minute because a lot of people get hung up on feet per second. It's got to go fast. Feet per second can be a very good measure, but only when you look at the weight of the projectile. So we shot multiple pellets, and again, check out the behind the scenes video. If you haven't seen that, check that out because I go through the methodology and you see just the amount of pellets I tested this gun with. So we shot like the 14.3s and they go faster because they're lighter. And then we shot the 25 grain slugs and they go slower because they're heavier. But in the end, the energy output was about the same, 30 to 31 foot-pounds. So just keep that in mind. This is a 30 foot-pound gun. Very, very usable air gun for hunting, target shooting, things like small game or up to raccoons, possum, armadillos, that kind of thing. This gun is got plenty of power to take care of that. No problem whatsoever. So other important numbers. Let's talk about just the length of the gun. It's 43 inches. Length of pull is about 15 inches. Weight, that's coming in about 8 pounds with this optic. Now this is the Hawke AIRMAX 30 side focus. Very, very nice scope. If you have a heavier scope, it's going to be heavier. If you have a lighter scope, it's going to be lighter. But this package, as it sits here, is about 8 pounds. The trigger pull, which, you know, this is, I think things have gotten much better in the industry over the last couple of years. Trigger pull on this was a very consistent 1 pound, 2 ounces and some change. That is great. Now it is adjustable, but I would see personally no need to adjust it because it's 2-stage, it's very consistent, and it's 1.25 pounds or less. So to me, that's very, very good. So we did measure DB and it kind of surprised me a little bit. Now, just so you know, take the DB numbers with a grain of salt. We're at 4,600 feet. We don't have a lot of stuff around us. Noise is different here than it is maybe where you live. So we're going to give you the numbers. Hopefully they're useful to you because a lot of people ask for what's the DB, and we're just going to give you the best we can, and hopefully it's useful. But I was a little surprised because I would have expected this to be, to my ears, about 103, 104 dB. And no, it actually came in at 108.9, and that was consistently that. So that wasn't a fluke. I tested it multiple times to make sure. It was 108.9, and that's, you know, a few feet from the muzzle. So maybe it's picking up some mechanical noise. I don't know quite what that is. But to me, it just didn't sound that loud, but that's what we got on the meter. So I'm going to share those numbers with you. Now let's talk about what everybody wants to know, and that's accuracy, right? So accuracy on this thing was a joy to shoot, just straight up. Now, one of the things, and this may, you know, people may like or dislike this particular methodology. If the gun's shooting well, first thing I do is I just shoot it. I shoot it to see how it does. I don't do anything with I don't adjust anything. I don't clean the barrel. I just shoot it to see how it does right out of the box. And most of the time, probably 8 out of 10 times, guns just work. And that is just phenomenal. I mean, what they're able to do today versus 10 years ago, that you can just take something out of the box and most of the time it just works. That to me is awesome. And that's what happened with this gun. And when that happens and I'm getting, you know, it's meeting my expectations accuracy-wise, consistently so, and we don't have weirdness going on, I don't personally see a need of going in and mucking with anything. If it's shooting well, I leave it the way it is and I just shoot it and enjoy it. And that's exactly what this gun did. I did not clean the barrel. So maybe if I clean the barrel, could we get a fraction better? I don't know, maybe. Maybe I'll save that for the owner, the new owner, because they can clean the barrel and let me know if it made it any better. But when it's shooting and meeting my expectation, and that's essentially sub 1 inch at 50 yards with an entry-level PCP, I tend to just leave it be. I've had other guns that just wouldn't group to save their lives, clean the barrel, and they're wonderful. Or I've had guns where they started good and then started to go sideways, clean the barrel, and they're back to good again. At those times, I'll go ahead and clean the barrel. But when they just work out of the box, I tend to just leave them alone. And that's what I got out of this gun. So we shot a bunch of pellets, and I was pleased to see that everything from the Crosman Premiers all the way up to the H&N Slugs, I was able to find something that worked well. So the Crosman Premiers, let's start with those. Now, the reason I like including those pellets is they are, one, usually readily available. They're not the cleanest pellets, they're not the best cast, but hey, you can buy them and shoot them, and you know, that's kind of important these days. And they actually didn't do bad. They actually did better than I thought they were gonna do, frankly, but we had a couple get away, and if you actually take a tin of the Crosman Premiers and look at them, you're gonna see flashing and wings and all kinds of stuff. That is why you're gonna get flyers with those pellets. But even with that, they delivered some really good results, and I was very, very pleased to see that this gun, an affordable gun, will shoot affordable pellets and you guys can still have a lot of fun. And it's perfectly adequate for hunting accuracy. It's, I don't know, I'm looking at it here, an inch and a half, ish, center to center. So I'd like to see an inch, but it's definitely usable. So the next pellet we shot were the 1589 JSBs. Now, of course, as it always is, we did a bunch of testing over the last couple weeks, and this morning the conditions were beautiful. And then just as we go to shoot our accuracy test, the wind picks up and we started to have 6 to 8 mile an hour winds and gusts and all kinds of fun stuff. And I knew it was coming. That's why I was out early this morning on Christmas Day to get this video, because I knew that weather conditions were just going to get pretty bad for the next several days. So I was trying to get this done. Anyway, and I got to go out and shoot, so that's never a bad thing, right? Anyway, so the wind started to pick up, and I think that definitely impacted the accuracy a little bit, because I had been getting consistently 3/4 inch to 1 inch groups all day with the JSB 1589s. And as things sort of started to shift, we still got, I think we're still looking at maybe right at an inch, maybe just a fraction over, but definitely a solid showing for the 1589s. And you can see on the target, they're pushing a little bit left, and those had been dead on. So you're seeing sort of an impact of some of what the wind was doing to us today. So nonetheless, 10 shots, at 50 yards in less than ideal conditions, and the thing just delivered some really good results. Now we move over to what I was really thrilled to see, and that was, and we're starting to test more slugs, right? So I shot the FX slugs, they didn't shoot well. I shot the knockouts, they were okay, but not awesome. I mean, they were a little more than an inch. But when I shot, and I was surprised, I thought for sure these were going to be too heavy and not fit well, but proved me wrong. The H&N slugs are the .217 25 grain slugs, and they shot really, really well. As you're looking at the shot groups now, you're looking at probably maybe just over half an inch, 10 shots. And these actually wandered a little to the right, which was kind of odd, but that could have just been how they were leaving the barrel. Now, in all of these tests, I did not adjust the scope in between. I took a couple test shots, and then I would use, where they were landing, use the mil dots, and try to adjust from there, do the best I could. But whatever hold I started with, I'd maintain that so you guys could see the grouping, like what we were getting. And these H&N slugs, man, I was very, very impressed. So if you're looking at something that's an affordable air gun that can shoot slugs, provided you can find the H&Ns in stock somewhere, that is not a bad option. So if it shoots those well, my guess is that there are other slugs it's going to shoot really well too. So again, 30 foot-pounds, 31 foot-pounds, shooting slugs. That brings a lot to the table here with this little Umarex Origin. Just very, very tickled to see what this gun can do at such a entry-level price point. So want to say thank you to all of the guys that helped put this giveaway together, because that's why we're doing this review today, is we want to do this review, show off the gun, show off the gear, and then get it out to the winner. But want to say thank you to Umarex, Hawke, and we've got the JTS compressor as well that's going to be going with this whole giveaway. So I hope that's been useful to you guys. If you like these grip reviews and have suggestions of air guns you'd like us to take a look at, let us know, and we'll reach out to the manufacturers and see if they will, come on board and help us get you that data. Because I really like these types of videos where we're just giving you the raw data, not very flashy, and I know you have to look at me, but hopefully this information will be useful and you guys will get the information you need and know whether or not this is the right product for you. Guys, that's going to be it for now. My name's Rick here with Gateway to Airguns and another grip review. Thanks for watching.